Hello to everyone.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, got a few people in. We should get some more probably, so let's get started. I've got Joanne at the top of the list. Joanne, what can I do for you this evening?
I'm trying to get my video on. I emptied iPhoto trash on my laptop,
Yeah?
and there were about 240 photos in there, and I've had the beach ball ever since. It's been about 30 minutes.
Okay, force quit iPhoto. That's the first thing that I would try. You know how to force quit?
I do.
Okay, yeah, so just...
No, I don't, I mean.
Oh, okay. There are a couple of different ways to do it. You can, from your, hopefully everybody's looking at my screen, to force quit an application, you can go into the black apple and then choose force quit. That gives you a list of applications that are open. So for instance, I want to kill this application called Reflector that's I've got in my list of applications here. I just force quit that. It says, are you sure? And I've now quit it. Another way to get to that menu item, that list of applications that are open, is to use the key command, Command Option Escape. Command Option Escape brings up the same thing. So choose that, kill it, and then open up iPhoto again and see if that helps. It shouldn't take 30 minutes to delete or empty iPhoto's trash.
Okay, thanks. Command Option what?
Command Option Escape.
Okay.
I usually use a thumb with Command Option and then Escape with a finger. And that needs to be at the same time.
Okay.
All right, Julia, you're next. I've got Julia. What can I do for you? Are you with us, Julia? Can you hear us?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Judy, please.
Yeah, Judy.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say Judy, please. My name stuff is Julia for whatever reason. I went to the new iOS 8 with my iPad, and it's working okay. But every now and then I lose my AT&T contact, and I have to kind of restart. And sometimes it has little jerking. Is there any cure for that?
Which phone are you using? iPhone 5, iPhone 6, which?
It's a 5, I think, and an iPad 2.
The iPad 2, I would definitely expect for there to be some jerkiness. And what I guess we mean by jerkiness is the inadequate response when we move something from one place to the other, that the device takes a little bit longer to respond. That's just the evolution of an operating system versus the stagnant nature of a machine. So if you get the iPhone 4 and you have iOS 4 on it, it runs great. iOS 5 on the iPhone 4, not so good. iOS 6 on the iPhone 4, kind of struggling. iOS 7 on the iPhone 4, no good at all. So eventually, in that iPad 2, if it is truly an iPad 2, that's starting to get kind of old in the lineage of operating systems. So that's the first answer. That could also possibly explain why things are maybe falling off. Are you saying that your network is kind of struggling when you're on the iPad? You mentioned AT&T.
My AT&T connection. No, it'll say no service, and if I turn it off and restart it, then I get it back.
The only thing that I would suggest then is on your phone or your device, and I wish I had my device mirroring up to my computer today, but I don't. But you can follow through. I'll talk you through it. You go to Settings, and when you go to Settings, scroll to General, and then scroll all the way down, and you'll see the word Reset. If you choose Reset, one of the resets that you'll see is Reset Network Settings. If you choose Reset Network Settings, it's going to say, are you sure? And then you hit Reset. The phone will shut down and then restart again, and you'll have to rejoin your Wi-Fi network. But that's about the best thing that I could tell you to try to do with that.
And so that helps Wi-Fi, but does it help when it disconnects from AT&T?
Yes. Yeah, basically, it takes all the settings. See, your cell phone has a record of towers that it's joined. So it knows that there's a tower nearby your house, and it's joined that. That tower has a certain ID that the phone is identified with in the past. So as you travel around, your phone moves from tower to tower, and it drops from one tower over to the next tower. And it has sort of a recorded history of local places that you go. When you reset network settings, that completely clears out, and then you start all over again. That's the best I got for you.
All I have to do is then rejoin my internet connection. I don't have it doesn't reset anything else.
That's correct. Only as long as you just choose reset network settings. Don't choose anything else in that screen.
Okay, reset network settings.
Mhm.
Okay, and that, okay, all right, I'm doing it as we speak.
Let's give that a shot. The phone will restart. Roger, what have you got for us this evening? Roger? Roger, you with us tonight?
He fell asleep.
Maybe did. All right, well, Joanne, do you have another question? We'll come back to Roger.
I do.
All right, what do you got?
I did, the first, under the black apple, it said Google Chrome not responding. And then I did Command Option Escape, and I was able to force quit, but now I can't find where I empty trash under the black apple, iPhoto, or anywhere else.
Within iPhoto, you want to empty trash within iPhoto? You should,
It's grayed out, so like it won't let me do it.
That probably means that the trash is empty. It probably emptied it successfully. So if you go into trash over on the left-hand side, I'm not sure if it's even there, but on the left-hand side of iPhoto, if there's a trash icon, click it. If there are no pictures there, then you successfully emptied the trash.
Okay, gotcha.
You just had a
I
problem.
did.
Roger, are you with us? Can you hear us, Roger?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. What have you got for us?
I've been getting prompts on my iPhone and my iPad to update to iOS 8, and I've attempted to do that, but it says that I don't have enough memory. I've only got like 1 point something gig left, and it needs 4 or 5.
That's right.
Number one, do I need really to do that, to upgrade to the iOS 8?
Okay.
Is it safe to do that yet?
Okay.
You know, if I don't, I'm never going to be able to get more memory on these devices, so
That's correct. I can help you a little bit maybe. Let me first go to my site and point out something. This happens with everybody. Every single person that I deal with has done the same thing, or actually has not done anything to help free up space on their devices. And I've written a little article about this that I'll point to you in a second. But first, let me talk about even updating. As we were talking before with, I think it was Judy was mentioning, her phone was a little sluggish or acting a little quirky when she updated to iOS 8. Every time and you may have heard me talking about this, but every time you update the operating system on a device, the device gets a little bit older. And finally to the point where updating it is not a great idea. I'm on a machine right here as we're talking, and I'm working on the latest beta of 10.10. And this machine a month ago in 10.9 was fantastic. It ran great. Now with 10.10, it's really sluggish. In other words, this machine has gotten right about to the point where it just can't take any more updates. And if I update to the next operating system in 10.11, say next year, this machine that I'm using right now will probably go, look, I just can't even do this. I can't open a window. It's going to be super slow. So what's your device's age? Is it an iPhone 4, iPhone 5, 5S?
5C.
Okay, so that should be okay. That should take the iOS 8 fine. So benefits of the new iOS version, they're minimal. They're going from 6 to 7 was huge, but from 7 to 8 was just little tweaks here and there. It gives you the ability to do family sharing. It gives you the ability to see all the pictures. If you and I have had a conversation with each other and we've shared 4 or 5 pictures with each other, you can look within your text messaging app and see what pictures we've shared. Little things like that throughout that are nicer, but I could live without them if I needed to. But to answer your question, why can't I update? It's because you don't have any space on your phone. And the reason you don't have any space on your phone is 98% of the time, it's because you've taken a lot of pictures with your phone, but you've never taken those pictures off of your phone. You thought you took them off, but you didn't. So in my answers section on my website, I have a little area over here. There's a link, and that link says the secret button. If you click on the secret button link, it gives you a little tutorial on actually how you should take your pictures off of your phone. And really kind of what happens is people think they import their pictures, but they haven't. And I go through step by step in this little tutorial here on exactly what happens because we never get to the secret button. And I'm looking at the secret button here on my page, and it says remove photos from Scotty's phone. You have to get to that particular button to actually free up all the space on your phone. Because if you take your phone right now, Roger, and with me, do you have your phone nearby?
I do.
Okay, go to Settings. In Settings, go to General. Now go to About. Are you with me?
Okay?
Now, do you see the word photos?
Yes,
What's the number next to photos?
1,245.
Okay, so you're carrying around 1,200 pictures, which you probably don't need 1,200 pictures. What's the capacity of your phone?
16
Okay,
gigabytes.
all right, and available you have what right now?
691 megabytes.
Yeah, so nothing. So how about number of videos? How many videos do you have?
22.
Okay, so if these are videos like TV shows or movies that you downloaded and stored, you can delete those, and that frees up the most space. But most of the time, it's pictures, and you have 1,000 pictures on your phone. You can take those off, and the way that you take them off, because it is confusing, and everybody has this problem. Just go to my website, go to the answers section, look at the secret button, which is on the right-hand side, and that'll get you to this link right here that walks you through the exact way you really should take them off. Now, there's a little hint here. If you go to download iOS 8 and you're not plugged up to iTunes, the phone is going to have to take the burden of downloading the whole operating system so that it can install the operating system on the device. But if you connected it to iTunes, then the computer would take the burden of downloading the update. If the computer downloads the update, then you don't. It doesn't have to take up space on the phone. And what I mean by that is you don't need as much space free if you use iTunes to update the computer. So you might be able to get away with updating it with 2.5 or 3 gigs available versus the 7 gigs that they claim some devices need. So,
Yeah.
moral of the story, use iTunes to update. You don't have to free up as much space, and always back up your device before you make a big update. All right?
Okay.
All right. Judy, I saw you unmuted. You have another question? Judy?
Yeah, I'm just following up on Roger's. So when I'm here.
Yeah.
You there?
Yep.
Hello?
I can hear you.
So following up on Roger's question. Yeah, following up on Roger's question. When I have deleted, I hit the little trash can icon. You're saying that doesn't take the photograph off my phone or my iPad?
Well, when you're talking about, Judy, maybe deleting pictures individually on the device itself from the device, is that correct?
Yeah.
But when you're talking about 1,200 pictures or 2,000 pictures, that little trash can doesn't help a whole lot. You got to bring in the big guns, and the big guns is iPhoto, which leads me to my mantra, which I always push out, and I've made a dedicated page to my mantra here. It's in the answers section, and in the answers section, the link right above the secret button is Scotty's mantra. And my mantra is that iPhoto is in charge of taking the pictures off the phone's camera roll, which is what we're talking about. iTunes is in charge of syncing pictures back onto your phone that you'd like to have to carry around with. So most of the time it's because people have not taken the pictures off of their camera roll that the phone fills up. But maybe you want the pictures from Thanksgiving '06. So that would be iTunes putting those back on. Gets a little complicated, but if you can memorize that, that really helps a lot. All right?
But an individual picture, if I just hit that trash can icon, it's off the phone.
It takes it off the phone, but that leads us back into, check this out. Camera roll to photo stream to iPhoto permanently. This is the pathway that your picture takes. If I take a picture with my phone, it stays on the camera roll first. Then it floats into PhotoStream.
I don't use PhotoStream.
Okay, if you were using PhotoStream, it would then eventually find its way into the permanent area of iPhoto. So if a person uses PhotoStream, they can delete it from the camera roll, but it's still in PhotoStream and it's still in iPhoto. Or they could delete it from iPhoto and it's still in PhotoStream and it's still in the camera roll. Or they could delete it in PhotoStream and it's still in the camera roll and it's still in iPhoto. So the moral of the story is, if you're using PhotoStream, then you need to delete it on the camera roll, you need to delete it in PhotoStream, and you need to delete it from within iPhoto's Photos area. That means it's really hard to lose a picture these days, which is fantastic.
Question,
Yes, Joanne, take it.
if you are using your iPhone to take a picture and, like Judy said, you are not using PhotoStream, how would you, if you chose to save several of those pictures, how would you do that?
You plug it up. Plug it up just like we did in the old days. You'd plug your phone up to the computer. and then
It would save all the photos.
sorry, say that part again?
Well, wouldn't it save all the photos then the photo stream? What if Judy and I wanted to save 5 photos out of 20?
Okay, when you plug your phone up into iPhoto opens up, or you plug your phone up into the computer, iPhoto opens, and iPhoto asks a question in the top right-hand corner. Would you like us to import all the photos, or would you like to select the photos you'd like to import?
Okay,
So that question is answered within iPhoto when you plug it up.
gotcha.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's see. Roger, did you have another follow-up?
I do.
Take it.
Concerning photos, my phone saves to either camera roll or my photo stream or both.
Both.
It appears that that just started happening one day. I've always just stored stuff on my phone.
Okay.
So, just to clarify, I can use a cable, connect my phone to the computer, and manipulate the photos that are on my. What I prefer is for my photos to be stored on my desktop. I have a Mac Mini.
Okay.
The follow-up to that, I guess, which is my real question, I'm finding that my photos are not saving to iCloud through Stream or something. They're going to this app called Box.
Okay.
And I don't think, at least, I initiated that. If I did that on purpose, I did not do it on purpose.
Right.
I personally would rather have all my photos on my desktop, back them up myself. I have an external hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard you caution against using iCloud as a backup.
Well, it's not. It's
Right.
not. It's not a backup.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm real adamant and kind of rude when it comes to that because everybody thinks it's a backup, and it's not a backup for your pictures. It's a backup of maybe some recent pictures you've taken, but it's not a backup of your entire iPhoto library. Not right now, it's not.
Okay, so did I have a question in there to you somehow?
Yeah, you mentioned Box. Now, are you talking about maybe Dropbox?
Dropbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're looking at my screen right now, I'm going to go up to my Dropbox settings, and if I click on Dropbox and I go down to the gear, and I'm going to go through this kind of quick because we can always go back and look at the answer in my town halls, my previous town hall section. So if I go a little bit fast for this, I apologize. But under Dropbox, I click on Dropbox and I go to the gear switch, and that little gear gives me the ability to get to preferences. Once I select preferences, it pops up a little screen up here, and one of the choices is import. Now, if I select import, it says, would you like to enable your camera uploads? Now, if I check that, Dropbox loves that. And the reason Dropbox loves that is because Dropbox is going to fill up their space that they've given to you a lot faster. They're going to send you a note saying, you've used up your Dropbox space. Would you like to buy more space? I don't personally do that. I keep that unchecked. I don't want my pictures to go into Dropbox because I have way more pictures than I have Dropbox space. Dropbox is for Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, Pages documents, Keynote presentations, the little text documents and things. So I turn that off. I also uncheck share screenshots using Dropbox. But, Roger, no matter if I keep that chosen or I don't keep it chosen, my photos should still flow through PhotoStream and land in iPhoto if I've chosen to turn on iCloud on my device. Does that
Okay.
help a little bit?
Yeah, I think I don't know if my version is different from yours. I went actually straight to preferences, and on Box Sync, I have a button that says that the sync is on. If I just turn that off, is that the same thing?
Probably, but I think you're looking at, see, there's an application called Box, and there's an application called Dropbox.
Gotcha. Okay, this one is Box.
Okay,
not
all right.
Dropbox. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with Box. It's not a widely used piece of software, so I turn that sync off. There are programs like that. There's a program out there called Cloud, and everybody thinks, oh, it's iCloud, I'll download it, but it has nothing to do with iCloud. Apple's just really good at putting the letter I in front of a word, and people think that word belongs to Apple then. So anyway, that's it. Yeah, I turn that sync off and see how that acts. And I just put down here to bring it up that the word PhotoStream or the term PhotoStream and iCloud are the same thing. It just depends on which version of the operating system or iPhoto you're in. In one version it says PhotoStream, and the other version later it says iCloud. So they're pulling the word PhotoStream out and they're replacing it with iCloud. iCloud does a lot of things. It syncs contacts, it syncs calendars, it stores your documents that you create in Pages, Keynote, or Numbers, very, very soon it will have its own folder structure that you can get to within your computer. That's available in iOS or so in macOS 10.10 Yosemite. It also saves pictures temporarily. In January, Apple's going to give us the ability to store our entire iPhoto libraries up in the cloud, but that's going to require us paying more money for more storage. I'm gonna jump. Go ahead. Last up, and then I'm gonna hit the Lori in a minute.
If this is not quick, that's fine. I want to turn PhotoStream off of my phone so that
Okay.
I personally have to connect it up to put the photos from my phone onto my desktop.
Okay. The way to do that is you go into Settings. You then you scroll down until you see iCloud. And in iCloud, it gives you the ability to sync contacts, calendars, reminders, and photos. If you select photos,
Okay.
turn all that off, and you won't move those pictures up into the internet.
Got it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Lori, what can I do for you? Oh, looks like Lori may have just fallen off. Lori, are you still with us? We kept her waiting too late. All right, well, maybe she'll pop back on. In the meantime, anybody else want to pop in, have another question?
I have one if it's okay.
Take it, Roger.
I have completely dedicated myself to the Apple suite, Pages, Keynote, Numbers, and I'm finding that I have a newer device. My device 20 years ago opens these programs faster than the one I've got today. I just need to know if I'm doing something wrong, if there's some reason that it takes this, I'm talking about sometimes upwards to a minute to open a Pages document.
Okay. That's a hard question to answer because there are a lot of things that could be going on.
Okay.
The same document, with an older version of Pages, I'm assuming, you're able to open no problem on an older computer a lot faster than your newer computer.
Well, I don't have that computer from 20 years ago. I'm just using that as a reference point.
You're expecting it to be
Whenever-
faster than it is.
Well, yeah, I've got a computer that's 20 years old, newer. I just figured it wouldn't be actually slower. What this does is it's whenever I shut my computer off at the end of every day.
Yeah.
When I open it up the following morning, I need to reopen the Pages application,
Okay.
and that's what takes so long.
The actual opening of Pages.
Yes.
Are you on the latest version of Pages, the one whose icon looks like the one that I'm seeing in my dock there? Not an inkwell, but an actual page?
No, it's a golden icon that says Pages and
Yeah.
has a golden
Yeah.
ink pen.
Yeah.
across the-
So yeah, that's the most recent version. And if you go to the Black Apple up here, let's see what operating system you're on. Black Apple on your computer about this Mac, and tell us what operating system you're on there.
10.9.5.
Okay, so you're on the latest and latest of everything, and then you have an amount of memory. How much memory do you have on that computer? 2 gigs, 4 gigs?
It says 2.
Yeah. Well, that's probably the biggest culprit there. The operating system by itself requires 2 gigs. So
Okay.
Pages probably needs more RAM than that. On this machine, I'm using 4 gigs of RAM. So honestly, if you're going to keep that machine in your life for a while longer, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go spend about $70 and go buy some RAM. And I would suggest
Right.
going to crucial.com and just navigate down. They even have a little scanner you can download, and it'll look at your operating system or your computer for you, and it'll tell you, hey, your computer will hold 8 gigs of RAM. When you buy RAM, I recommend you buy as much as you can financially afford to buy when it's time to buy it, so that you don't make these little small steps. Oh, I'm going to get 4 gigs. Now next year I'm going to get 8 gigs. If you can afford to get 8 gigs, get 8 gigs. If your machine will hold that. And now, the machine I'm on will only hold 4 gigs, I believe. So,
Okay.
all right.
Great, thank you.
I'm going to move to Lori. Lori, thanks for your patience. What can I do for you this evening? Lori, what do you got?
My email stopped coming on my computer.
Okay. What is the
As of 10 to 8.
what's the suffix of your email? At, and don't say AOL. at what.com?
Both of them, Gmail and AOL.
Okay,
They
so
just stopped on 10.
okay, have you force quit mail and restarted mail?
Yes,
All right, let's jump over. Can we jump over and take a look at your screen?
sure.
All right, you're going to see a request to be made the presenter, so select that. And also give mouse and keyboard control to Scotty. And let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. So your email's coming in on other devices probably, just not on this device, right?
Right.
Okay, do you mind if I drive around a little bit?
I don't mind.
Okay, so we're going to open up your mail, and they're just sitting there. And let's see, you keep the most recent's at the bottom. That's 10/8. That looks like you haven't. Well, that's old. So Gmail. Let's go to Gmail. 6:25. Okay, so you got that one from Gmail, right? That just came in at 6:25. I just sent that earlier tonight. So I think your Gmail's okay. AOL, however, and you know how I feel about AOL, it's not cooperating. Let's see what AOL has to say. I may have just lost your connection a little bit. Let's see. Good gracious alive. Let's see if we can look at what problems there might be on the server. By the way, this happens. Lori, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to scream from the rooftops. AOL email is terrible. No one should be using AOL. With that said, let's see if we can fix this problem. By the way, that problem of AOL, like, oh, I don't know your password, that's extremely common, where it'll just forget the password constantly. Let's see, we're in mail. Let's go to preferences. Accounts. I hit the wrong thing. I'm real sluggish here. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, I'm so slow here. Let's go to preferences. And let's see. Now, the good news here, Lori, is that AOL is IMAP, which means you can delete the whole account and re-add the whole account and you should not lose anything. So that will be a last resort if it doesn't come back online. Most likely, it's just AOL having problems and you wait 24 hours and it's back on again. Let's go to advanced here. Let's see. Give me a second here. Let me take a look. Let's see. I don't have another one set up over here. Hold on a second. I have an AOL account set up for people just like you. So let's see if we can, let me see if I can find the correct settings on that. Give me a few minutes here. Meanwhile, while we're at it, why don't you know your AOL password? Don't say it, but do you know it off the top of your head? Lori, can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Lori, did we lose you? Oh, Lori's got a real...
Yes, I know it.
Yeah, okay. Delete those dots, Lori, and put that password back in again if you would. Come on. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can find the correct AOL outgoing server settings. Outgoing AOL. Let's see. AOL outgoing port. Give me a second here. go? 25 or 465. It should work on either one of those, 25 or 465 on the outgoing. Let's see here. Have you tried to send out from AOL?
No.
From here, let's give it a shot. And let's see if it'll actually go out. Did you hear the whoosh?
No.
Yeah. It's most likely, you probably didn't make any changes at all. It's most likely that the server's down with AOL, which is probably pretty common. Like the first thing that you said, I said, what's your suffix? And I said, don't tell me AOL. So it's not the computer's problem. It's probably AOL's problem on their end. Here's what I would do. Give it to the night, turn your computer off, turn your computer back on. If it doesn't just resolve itself, which oftentimes AOL does, then this is what you'll do. Go into preferences for mail, delete the AOL account, and re-add the AOL account again. All of your AOL email will fall away, and then it will come back.
Okay.
All right? I'm really slow with this connection here. I'm trying to wait for it. There it is. So you would select that, and then you hit the minus button. Then you would re-add just AOL, and it would walk you right through it. Give that a shot. All right. I wish I had better news, but that's like AOL is terrible. All right. Let's.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We've got Joan in. Joan, what can I do for you this evening?
If somebody failed to mute their system, because I'm hearing another conversation.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I've got some people talking in the background here. See if I can track them down.
That's your lesson, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's Roger. I'll mute him. Give me just a second here.
Let me have your teacher's law.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Joan, what can I do for you this evening?
Same problems. I won't even ask you, but Werner and I need to separate a little bit with our computer stuff. And right now, no matter what I've done, he's getting my texts and he's not getting his own.
Okay, so the reason that people get each other's text messages, and this happens all the time, is that they are signed into each other's iCloud accounts. So on the phone, if you go to, let's see, if you go to settings, and I apologize for my phone not being on the screen tonight.
Okay, Scotty, slow down, please.
Okay, and remember this is always recorded on YouTube as well under previous town halls. So,
I know. Okay, now the mobile is asking me something. Okay, continue. All right, so you need to go, okay. I just hit settings on my iPhone.
okay, and you scroll down to the word messages.
Got it.
Now, under messages, you see send and receive. Send and receive, you click send and receive, and you'll see lots of different emails, possibly. If any of those emails belong to someone other than yourself, you need to disassociate those emails from that iCloud account. Now, the other piece of this could be that husband is signed into you. So your email, your settings might look right, but he may be signed into you in...
That's probably the problem because I'm signed into three things. I'm signed into my iPhone phone number and Mac.com.
Yeah. So in his phone, you would go to settings, general, then you'd go, I've got to get my brain back in gear here.
I don't have his phone.
Okay, so I'll record. I'm recording this, so I'll just walk you through what you would do again. You go to settings, messages. You would then find send and receive, and you would select that, and then that would tell you if you see any of your items on someone else's phone, then they're probably getting your text messages. Therefore, you would sign out of that ID. You do that by touching the name of the Apple ID, and it'll ask you to sign out. You select sign out, and then you sign into his Apple ID. There's one of the very confusing things with everybody in the world is the difference between purchasing IDs and iCloud IDs. The purchasing ID is what you sign in the iTunes store, but your iCloud ID is in charge of data like contacts, calendars, text messages, GPS information, pages, documents if you create those in Pages, that kind of thing. And it's very easy for a family to sign in to the same iTunes account and then think they should sign into the same iCloud account, but that's not the case. All right?
Oh, okay. The problem is that I'm the one, I'm kind of a control freak, as you know, and you know why. But we're just too connected here. Okay, so I'm going to go to settings. I have this iPhone now.
Okay. And in settings, go down to messages, and you would look under FaceTime as well for the same thing. Messages,
Okay, I'm into messages.
and then you would select send and receive. Do you see any of your information under that?
One of them, yes. So I should click that out.
Yes, you could uncheck that, or you could sign out of your Apple ID if you're signed in there completely, and then he would sign into his own.
He doesn't really use his Apple ID. Now I have it, but it's grayed out. It's grayed out for his phone number on his cell phone. But
Okay.
it has a check mark next to it.
Yeah, that means you cannot change that. He's going to get texts to that phone number.
Okay, that's good, but I took my number off,
Yep,
and I don't have any of my Gmail or Mac or at me things set.
good.
So that should help.
That should take care of that issue.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Let's see. Do we have anybody else that is? All right. Let's see. I think that was Joanne. Joanne, take it.
How do I, on my laptop with my photos, I cannot share a photo, either text or email a photo, and it keeps saying the account is not configured, but it won't let me configure it.
Okay. What application are you using to share things? iPhoto?
Yes.
All right. So within iPhoto, would you like me to look at your screen and everybody else see it, or would you like me to demonstrate it on my own screen?
Either way.
All right. Then I'll go to my own. I'll open up iPhoto. I try to usually avoid people's picture libraries in front of other people, for obvious reasons. Let's go to my iPhoto library, and in my iPhoto library, I need to go to settings. Now I'm waiting for my iPhoto library to show up here. It's going to take a second. Apologize for the slowness. You're going to set up an account to be able to email those pictures. Now you don't text pictures from within iPhoto, but you can email pictures from within iPhoto. Is that what you're asking about?
Well, it gives me the option to message.
From within iPhoto?
Yeah, when I click on share.
All right, I'll take a look at it here in a second. So in iPhoto, one of the things we do is under the word preferences, and I've just got a very slow deal going on here. In iPhoto, I'm going to go to accounts, and I need to make sure that the account that I want to send out as is listed for email. We'll look at the other one here in just a second.
Well, I can show you if you come to my screen.
Okay. All right, let me jump over to you then. My computer's going slow.
I have your bike pic, by the way.
Ah, yeah, I think I shared that with you. All right, you should see a request. You've been made the presenter. I got a lot of things running on my computer, so it slows things down. All right, so you want to open up iPhoto?
I've clicked on a photo that I can share.
Show me what you're talking about then, because I don't see iPhoto open.
On me?
Yes,
What do you see?
I see a screen, and I see your desktop, but nothing else.
Oh, weird.
Are you looking at your phone?
No, I'm on my laptop.
Okay, let's see. I don't see anything open here. Does anybody else see anything open? No, I don't see anything open here. Are you looking at iPhoto right now, Joanne?
Yes, I am.
All right. Maybe I'm behind here. I don't see, and this is your desktop. I recognize your desktop. This is yours, but I don't see anything on it.
Weird.
Maybe you have two computers though, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm looking at your iMac right now.
Oh, no, I'm on the laptop.
All right, so the meeting you joined is on the iMac.
Correct.
All right, I can't see your laptop if your laptop's not joined to the meeting.
Oh, okay, good point. Well, I click on the picture, so it fills up the screen, and it gives me the ability to share.
Mm-hmm.
So I click on share.
I think I know what's going on here. Let me pause you, Joanne. Before, we've had this conversation where a person can use iMessage or Messages. See this app down here in your dock that looks like a little comic book speech kind of thing? That's iMessage. And iMessage, I don't think that you are logged into iMessage on your machine, because we've talked about privacy issues before, that if somebody sends a text, that text would show up on your iMac, it would show up on your laptop, it'd show up on your phone. So you might not want to have that on. But the only way that picture is going to be shared out through iMessage is if you have the iMessage application activated.
Well, I do have it activated on the laptop.
Okay, well then you can.
I think I do, maybe I don't. It says quit when I click on it, and I thought it was open.
Do you get text messages on that laptop?
I never looked.
Probably.
No, I do not.
Yeah, probably not then.
Yeah, because I don't.
Yeah, that's probably your issue. You need to sign in to the text messaging app on your laptop. Then that will be able to be used to send out a picture via iPhoto. All right?
Okay, and how do I sign into it?
Open the text messaging app, and after you open that, let me see if I can go to my own here. Sorry, say that again?
My status?
No. If you go under the word messages to preferences, you should be able to select it on the left-hand side, and then you can enable that account. I'm going to jump back over to show my screen so that people can see that.
Yeah, I don't show it.
And let's see, here's my screen. So here's my messaging app, all right? And I go over to the word messages. I go down to preferences. Then I look at the account that I'm theoretically signed in under, and I make sure that it says enable. That account needs to be enabled. So I'm ready to send and receive messages under that account. That's what you do. I'm going to jump over to Chris that just got in tonight. Chris, what can I do for you?
My computer's like really slow.
All right.
I get the beach ball all the time.
First suspect is a bad hard drive. That's most commonly what the case is, and I'll prove it to you. Look right here on my desk. 4 bad hard drives this week. I see a lot of hard drives that died, and those are just the ones I can. Look, here's another one. I got dead hard drives all over the place. Here's another one. I got another one over there. So that's 9 times out of 10, that's what's going on. Now, there are lots of other reasons, but what you got to do is you have to ask yourself, is it software or is it hardware? Now, there are 2 types of slow. There's internet slow and there's computer slow. Computer slow would look like opening up address book and it takes forever. Opening up iPhoto and it takes forever. Opening up a Finder window and navigating your documents folder and it takes forever. Are those things that are happening?
Yes.
All right, then that's probably more likely that the hard drive is dying. Now, one easy test to take with the hard drive is you open up a Finder window, just a simple Finder window. And if you open up that Finder window, start navigating around folders. Like I'm going to go into my users folder, now I'm going to go into, there's users, now I'm going to go into the documents folder, and how quickly does that respond? Now I'm going to go into another little thing and I'm going to keep drilling. If it takes forever for me to drill all the way down into each one, then that means that the drive is having a really hard time allocating that area or getting to that area, which is a big indicator that the drive is dying. Another test that you can take on it is to, and this is a little bit more sophisticated, but you can boot into what's called recovery mode. Recovery mode is a hidden area that Apple gives you. You turn the computer off, You turn the computer on holding down the Option key. If you hold down the Option key, you get two icons, Recovery or Macintosh HD. If you boot into recovery mode, then you can run a program called Disk Utility. Now, Disk Utility is available on your normal computer, but you really need to test the drive completely. You really should be testing from recovery mode. But if you boot into recovery mode by holding down the Option key, you get this window. And this window, you can select your drive, and then you can choose to repair the disk. Now, anytime you see red when repairing the disk, in my opinion, that means it's time to replace the drive. If you go to repair the disk and it takes an hour to repair the disk, then the drive is probably bad as well.
Okay.
To replace the drive, the Apple Store can do it. If it's under warranty, that's definitely something they can do. Oftentimes, though, when the Apple Store recognizes that the drive is at fault, they would generally tell you, well, let's erase the drive and reinstall the operating system first. I have found in my experience, as soon as I see red, replace the drive. Because customers that I've worked with, clients I've worked with, are just end up frustrated. I see red, I go, hey, let's erase the drive and let's restart it again. We do that. A month later, the drive's still spinning and spinning and spinning, and they've wasted all this time. So generally, that's what I say do.
Okay.
All right? All right. Yeah, go ahead. Chris, you have a follow-up?
Well, it's a different issue.
Okay.
On my laptop, the screen is separating from the case.
Yeah.
And I took it to this, You Fix It place that's across the street from my office.
Yeah.
And they said they glued it, whatever, they fixed it, and it's coming apart again.
I would say on that, the iFixit people, they can do phone screens, they can do iPad screens, but a laptop screen is a whole different thing, and glue is not gonna fix that. Once that hermetic seal has kind of broken, is it a MacBook Pro?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once the LCD has separated from that, really the only way you're going to get that fixed is to get a new LCD screen, which costs a lot of money. It's very expensive. I hate to be the bearer of bad news on that, but I would not expect for the iFixit people to fix that for like $100 or $150, whatever. I don't know what you paid, but probably wasn't a lot on that.
Yeah, it wasn't that much.
Yeah, that's not going to do it. That'd be like me squirting super glue in there and putting some clamps down. The pressure on that piece is so great that it's glue. The glue that they're going to use is not going to take care of it. And if you took it to the Apple Store, they would replace the display, and that would cost quite a bit, $800 at the very least, I'm guessing. Maybe I'm wrong, but it would be worth checking it out. Now, is the machine under Apple Care?
No.
Yeah, too old. Yeah, and that does start to happen after a while because you've got that pressure as you're opening and closing that hinge. That glue starts to separate after a while. The old iBooks, the white iBooks, it did it all the time on those.
Okay.
All right. Sometimes now, if the hinges are loose, a person can go in and tighten the hinges. You have to have a special screw to do it, a special screwdriver to do it. But the hinges can be tightened. But if you're saying that the bottom bezel on the screen is separating, yeah, that's tough.
Okay.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to call it a night. And thanks for joining in tonight. I will see you again next Monday if you're around.
Cool. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.